offered by Mr. Pallone.
Gentleman is recognized for 5 minutes to explain his amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My amendment would change the title to the Republican Pay More for Less Act. And I really want to explain why I believe that that's exactly what this bill does before us. But let me explain one thing. You know, I heard from a lot of our colleagues, and my biggest concern here today in terms of our Republican colleagues is that they keep talking about the ACA, why they don't like the ACA, give stories about the ACA and how bad it is. But no one has really explained how the bill before us is actually going to improve on any of the things that they criticize the ACA for. And I think that, you know, Mr. Shimkus started out by saying that, you know, the Republicans are putting their jobs on the line today with this bill in the way that we may have 9 years ago with the ACA. But again, you only put your job on the line if this bill becomes law. It's not going to become law. It's just a message amendment. As my colleagues have already pointed out, the AARP, the AMA, so many groups have already come out and said they're against it. And the Freedom Caucus on the Republican right has come out against this. So I believe this is nothing more than a message vehicle. And I just want to explain why I don't think that any of the concerns that have been expressed by the ACA will in any way be cured or helped by this legislation. Mr. Scalise talked about premiums going up. Well, premiums are going to go up even more when you break the insurance pool and you don't have the younger and healthier people in the pool because there's no longer a mandate. Premiums are going to go up for everyone a lot more. He talked about deductibles. If deductibles are too high. Well, you have in this legislation a provision that allows deductibles and co-pays to even go higher, through the roof. He talked about, seniors. We know that you have this rating system which allows you to, not seniors, but the people that are from maybe 50 to 65. Well, right now they can be charged 3 times as much. Under this legislation, they could be charged 5 times as much. The Medicare expansion is significantly reduced over the next few years. People are going to be kicked off Medicaid. There's no essential benefits package, which means a lot of people are going to get less benefits. And where are all these people? The people that are going to lose their coverage because the subsidy is gone and the $2,000 tax credit doesn't make up for the subsidy for many of these people who, are getting subsidized 70%. Some of them are getting a $7,000, $8,000, $9,000 subsidy. And now they're going to get a $2,000 tax credit. They're not going to be able to buy insurance. They're going to be kicked off their insurance. The Medicaid people are going to be kicked off the insurance because there's no money to the states to pay for it. And where do they go? You say you're not going to fund Planned Parenthood or other clinics. You're not making up for the fact that community health centers essentially are going to get, or hospitals are not going to get reimbursement from Medicaid or private insurance. Are they going to be able to go to the clinics? No. The clinics are going to be overflowing. Are they going to be able to go to Planned Parenthood if they're women? No. Those places are going to be closed. Are they going to be able to go to the hospital emergency room? Well, where are the hospitals going to get the extra money to expand their emergency rooms? Anybody who's been to one knows how expensive that is. So there's no place to go because there's no money. They're repealing the pay-fors in the ACA. Ms. McMorris-Rogers said that, well, we can't continue with the ACA because it's unsustainable funding. The only reason it's unsustainable is because you're going to repeal all the pay-fors. And you're not going to have any money left to pay for the things, to pay for the care for the people who need it. So I just want to use an example. I mean, I think it's important to use examples, but I want to end with this. I have a constituent, Michelle, from New Brunswick. She's a survivor of childhood cancer. Sadly, Michelle lost her job due to a health condition in 2014-15, but as a result of the Health Insurance Exchange and the Affordable Care Act, she was able to maintain affordable coverage and receive the care she needed to recover from the long-term effects from cancer. Now Michelle is back in the workplace, contributing to our economy. But how do I tell Michelle and the more than 335,000 cancer survivors that they will have the coverage they need to keep their cancer in remission? The answer is I can't tell them that with this bill because this bill doesn't help. This bill doesn't correct any of the things that my colleagues on the other side have talked about. They don't explain to us how it's helping, how it's going to make a difference, because it's not, and because they also know it's not going anywhere. CBO is going to come out next week with a score, and it's going to show that it doesn't even save any money. It won't even meet the reconciliation requirements. So it just upsets me a great deal because we have people that are suffering and that need help. They got the help with the ACA. They're not going to get the help with this bill. I yield back.